Arrival. I'm Councilwoman Jan Perry, and I'm here with Mr. Buscaino. And I understand that we have a number of consent items. So let's go through the consent items, and then we'll go through the continuances if there are any continuances.
And on the consent items, are you speaking about items 4 through 20?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Those are requests for obsolete record destroying certain obsolete records, and they're from various departments, including the Police Department, Recreation and Parks, Elections from the City Clerk's Office, Planning Department, the Treasurer, General Services, City Employees Retirement System, Transportation Department, and Animal Services.
Okay, and these are all within policy?
Yes.
Okay, and there are no cards on any of these?
No.
All right, so if there is no objection to that, there's no objection from Mr. Buscaino, we will go ahead and consent items 4 through 19.
Okay, and you're holding item 20?
Sorry, let's see. No.
So you want to do 20?
That will be 4 through
also.
20.
Okay, thank you.
Consent on items 4 through 20. And then let's jump back to 1. Mr. Zine has asked for a report from the department. Apparently, it's not ready. The departments of General Services, CAO, Fire, Police, and ITA are requested to report back in 60 days on item number 1. There's no objection to that. We'll continue that for 60 days.
Okay.
And then, did you want to read the description of that into the record? Just for the record.
For item 1, what you had before you was a motion, as I'm correct, it's instructing the General Services and the City Administrative Officer to report to Council with options for upgrading or replacing the city's current vehicle maintenance system.
Okay. All right. Number 2.
For item 2, you have motion, Garcetti Cardenas, authorizing the city clerk to negotiate and execute the third supplemental agreement to a contract with MR Grant CPA to clarify the scope of services and to permit the use of task order requests, as well as other related items.
Okay, are there any cards on this item?
Not on this one.
Okay, let's have the staff report.
Miranda Pastor, Office of the City Clerk. This is for a supplemental agreement to the MR Grant audit contract. We are asking to change the provisions of the contract so that we can release task orders for each audit that needs to be conducted, as opposed to listing each one in the contract, because we don't know all the time which ones we want to audit. We have the goal of auditing every business improvement district, and this contract will help us in doing that. Also, we'd like to release an RFQ so that we can get other auditors or information for other auditors.
Just a quick question for educational purposes. Tell me what a task order is.
A task order would be kind of like a sub-purchase order. So we have the main contract, and then anytime we want to audit a bid or a hotel for the LATMD, we would type up a task order to say which bid we're auditing. Okay,
and that would not, so the cap on this is $100,000?
Yes, on the supplemental.
And that includes that's just on the auditing aspect of it?
That's just auditing.
Okay, but the task orders may generate additional?
No, the task orders would comprise
that is included in the $100,000?
Yes.
Okay, great. And then the RFQ. The RFQ is intended to, tell me again.
To gain, at least to comply with competitive bidding process and get auditors for future audits.
So you're basically just building up your universe of auditors and holding them in abeyance, or
so that we can execute contracts for future audits.
Okay, and then just explain to me, and I know this is the third supplemental agreement. Is that because your list of auditors has been depleted, or is it too small, or
no? Our contract is expiring, and we want to give opportunity for competitive bidding, and we're not trying to get rid of the current contractor. she complies with the, I was going to say MeBe-WeBe, but minority business, enterprise, all of those aspects of contracting.
So it's expiring, and then you have to put it back out to RFQ again.
Exactly.
And you're looking to see if you can create a new pool or a different mix.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this: is it broken down as in a manner that only one person or one company can prevail, or how many opportunities are there to be able to compete and to prevail?
Well, what we do is we will release the qualifications that they'd be able to audit the bids, and then we wait for responses. So we release it on the business, the BAVN, I can't think of what it stands for, the virtual network on the mayor's website, and any auditor can comply or respond.
But I guess what I'm looking at is if we try to create more opportunities for women, for example, and for we can't do that anymore, but to create a more of a diversity pool. So is the potential awardee just one company, or is it broken up into several pieces where?
With the RFQ, it would be a number of people who would be able to qualify to do the audits.
Number of companies, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You have any other questions? All right, great. Then we'll approve that without objection.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 3 is next.
On item 3, you have motion, Garcetti Buscaino instructing the City Administrative Officer, the General Services Department, and the Community Development Department, with the assistance of the City Attorney's Office, to report to Council with the required actions and/or authorities within 15 days to transfer ownership of the city-owned facility located at 1345 El Centro Avenue to Child Help Incorporated. This is a California nonprofit organization.
Is there, before you go on, is there a staff person CAO report on this? Is there?
It's just a motion.
Just the motion?
So basically, you approve the motion, then the City Administrative Officer will be officially requested to come back with a report.
Okay, so we'll take this information today, and you can tell us how quickly you would like for this to come back to committee. All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Eduardo Soriano Hewitt, Councilmember Eric Garcetti's office. We ask for your support today to approve the Garcetti Buscaino motion to effectuate the transfer of title to Child Help, Inc., a nonprofit organization that has done work in the Hollywood area for over 30 years. We ask that you approve this motion. On a parallel track, our office will sit down with the CAO, City Attorney, CDD, and GSD to get the ball moving on the transfer of title process. We'd like to have this come back to committee at the latest, the second week of September, or possibly before the Labor Day break. So whichever is feasible based on staffing availability for all the departments.
Okay, great. So there's CAO. You'll note that for the record, we need the CAO report on file before we can move this out of committee. And I have 2 cards, Mr. Ralph Ochoa and Vita Cortese. Would you like to come up and speak?
Good morning, Madam Chair, Mr. Buscaino. My name is Ralph Ochoa, and I'm on the National Board of Child Help Incorporated. And I just wanted to briefly to articulate the fact that the purpose of Child Help, both in the Hollywood House and around the country, is for the prevention and treatment of child abuse. And we've been doing this, Child Help, for over 50 years. Specifically, the programs that we have at the Hollywood House have been a hotline, which is 1-800-4-A-CHILD, foster family recruitment and training, adult survivor for those who have been victimized by this and have psychological and other kinds of problems. We have a program that we try to utilize in schools for the lower grades in particular. It used to be the good touch, bad touch, but the University of Arizona University helped us redo the whole program, and it's now Speak Up, Be Safe, and it teaches youngsters the difference between a good touch, family hugging, etc., and a bad touch, something that you have to fight against. The volunteers of our Los Angeles chapters that help raise money to keep the programs going, have their meetings there, etc. So these are some of the programs that we have been working on in the community. And my colleague Vita Cortese will take a minute or so to tell you about some of the programs.
We have quality treatment for children at our village in Beaumont. It's the Child Help Merv Griffin Village. And we house 84 children at any one time. These are the cases, the most severe cases in the area of Southern California that come to us through the juvenile courts. And we have the professional psychiatric treatment for the children. We have an animal program there, which is surprisingly very, very just wonderful, the way children.
What does the animal program do?
We have the animals there to. It's amazing how children respond to animals where they don't to human beings. We had a child there who hadn't spoken a word, and the first word he spoke was to a horse there, and it was just remarkable.
So do you bring the animals in, or do?
We have them there, about 15 horses, sheep, chickens, dogs, cats, etc.
One time we had a llama.
You have a llama?
Yes,
Really?
somebody donated a llama, and but he wasn't there for very long. We also have an art program, which is very, very interesting, because the art director will have a child when the child first comes to the village, and the director will have the child draw anything, and it's amazing how when a child draws a man or a woman, especially when the child emphasizes the arms, that they're very extended, which is an indication that that child has been beaten by that person. And as I mentioned, we have quality psychiatric treatment at the village. And we have group homes. We have 3 group homes in Orange County that maximizes
Where are you based in Los Angeles?
I'm sorry.
Where are you based in Los Angeles?
We're at the Hollywood facility, but our headquarters are in Scottsdale, Arizona. However, Child Help was first organized and incorporated in the state of California in 1960.
Did you choose Hollywood because of the higher propensity of young people to become homeless and cluster around Hollywood, or why did you choose Hollywood?
Well, at the time that we acquired we didn't acquire the property, that we worked on the property was in 1980, and it went through a series of renovation on the property, and then that was completed in 1985, at which time we started our programs there.
Did you have a relation? I mean, I just wanted to know, like, how did you get to Hollywood?
Oh, okay. All right. You want the history
on
on that?
somewhere else?
The history of that. We acquired the facility through past council president John Ferraro.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
dear John,
Yeah,
and
businessman.
yes, and so
Enough said.
Okay.
I got it. Okay.
It was
No,
huge.
I thought it was interesting because you ended up in Hollywood, and
Well-
there are a lot of young people up there. I used to have Skid Row in my district, and, that tended to draw older people who became homeless, whereas the younger people tended to cluster around Hollywood. So I was just wondering if that's why you ended up in Hollywood, but that explains it. Yeah.
well, we were instructed by Councilman Ferraro to find a facility in that area.
Well, there's definitely a need for a facility
Yes,
for young people.
yes.
in
So
that area.
that's how that started.
Yeah.
And I couldn't go on and on,
No,
but
I
I know my
understand.
time is limited.
Thank you for clearing that up.
All right.
Ms. Gaino?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thanks, Edo, for being here and representing Councilmember Garcetti. I was pleased to stand with him and second this motion. I want to thank you both for your continued commitment and passion to serve our kids in the city. And as fresh off the streets as a police officer, the most disturbing incident, radio call that I've had to handle was child neglect, child abuse. And to know that this organization, this service exists is so refreshing and enlightening and a true blessing to have this resource in our great city. So thank you for your continued dedication to serve our kids and our city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a very interesting presentation. So you want this back as quickly as possible. We'll work it out with Stephanie and the clerk, and then we'll have the CAO report on file, and then we can move forward on that. So we will hold this.
That's fine.
Okay. So you're holding this in committee until
Yeah.
the CO report comes in?
CAO report, yes.
Okay.
Okay. So
Thank you, Madam
Thank
Chair.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Councilman.
All right. That is item number 3. There are no further items on the agenda. Is that correct, madam?
Correct.
All right. So if there is anybody here who wishes to speak on an item that is not on the agenda, this is the public comment period. This would be the time to come forward. Seeing that no one is coming forward, thank you very much.